I'm creating this video to talk about the techniques and tools I use to create our ICT illustration game scene and character. I've created this little window here to describe some of these techniques and tools in more detail. I created the character's outline using a variety of shapes, mostly rectangles, mostly rounded rectangles and ellipses. I could have used pen tool to make it more accurate to the original character shape, but I wanted to create this sort of cartoony roundness to the character. I then added shading using a technique that I think is best described using this sun. As you can see here, the sun has shading around it similar to the character. This is accomplished by using three shapes: an outline that sits at the front layer-wise, a purely color-based shape which sits at the back, and a different colored shape that is smaller than the two originals. I use three shapes instead of just two because then this shape won't overlap with the outlines, and you get this cool, neat outline. I also created drop shadow using these two shapes, here and here. I did this by simply copy-pasting the shape, turning it black, and copy-paste and shifting it to slightly off the center of the original. I did this instead of using the inbuilt drop shadow tool here because it doesn't really fit in with the theme of my character, the sort of cartoony, stark color style. I also didn't use the mesh tool for this shading because it also doesn't fit in with the style, and it's very inconsistent to use. I created these trees and this background using a lot of modular shapes made from pen tool. I did this purely because of a gameplay decision where the game itself is based around, as you can see, fruit spawning on these various branches, and thus they have to be available for that fruit to spawn on, which is why I created these shapes. I used these shapes down here to create a sort of fairly detailed but not overly distracting backdrop that prevents you from being distracted from the main character. Overall, I'm very happy with the way my character turned out. I think it could have been a little better with a bit more time, but I'm overall pretty pleased with how it turned out and with the techniques I used. Thank you for listening.